It'll be year 2 for Kenny Pickett. Jeff, that's where I want to start. In your opinion, what does success look like for Kenny Pickett in year 2?
That's a really tough question based on the fact that everyone's going to point to a different metric, right? Some people are going to point to things like overall yardage. Some people are going to point to touchdown to interception ratio. Some are going to point to completion percentage. To me, I just want him to have a complete control of the offense. And hey, I'm going to be honest. The only stat that matters to me is points scored. And so what's the red zone percentage look like? That's what I want to know, because it was pretty bad last year. And he had, I believe, the lowest quarterback rating in the NFL inside the red zone, and then especially even worse when it got inside the 10. So situational football, I think, is where I want to see Kenny Pickett grow the most. But I think everything else is just kind of frills. He doesn't have to throw for 5,000 yards. If he throws for 3 or even in between 2,500 and 3,000, but has good red zone production, the Steelers are scoring more points, they're running the ball better, play action becomes more of a thing, I would be happy with that. To me, it's not all stat driven except for one, and that's points scored. That's just me, though, my own personal metric.
That is terrific insight there, Jeff. I'm going to go on a more macro level. Let's just get to the playoffs.
There you go.
Period. Sure. Playoffs, if you get back in the postseason, glass half full. The Steelers, I think, could arrive a year early this year to say no one's really talking about them, to where they surprise some teams. They surprise a lot of the league to where, okay, maybe they're not quite a contender in the AFC this season, but to where they would be building towards next season in year 3, when it's like, wow, this team could potentially win a Super Bowl. And that glass half full perspective, in my opinion, would be, there's a reason you kept Matt Canada for the continuity. It was a decision I did not agree with, but I look at other young quarterbacks that have struggled in the NFL, and I know that he doesn't have to learn a new system. He doesn't have to learn a new terminology or to work with a new offensive coordinator. And because Mike Tomlin's a defensive coach, if they would have gone out and gotten, let's say, a Byron Leftwich in this offseason, or Frank Reich, or one of the other brilliant offensive minds that was out on the market, if that coach had success, say if you had moved on from Matt Canada, what's to say that you're not having to find an offensive coordinator again in the 2024 season? So that's my perspective, as glass half full. You get back to the playoffs, and hopefully that continuity you can use where you were at the end of 2023 as your baseline week 1 of the upcoming season. Where you're at the last week of 2022 season is week 1 in 2023. That's where I'm at, Jeff.
Let's not forget, everyone talks about Matt Canada. Kenny Pickett likes Matt Canada. He actually likes him. And I know that Steeler fans were probably spitting their coffee all over themselves this morning. He actually likes the guy. He recruited him from Temple, and he was there for Temple and Pitt, and he was there in New Jersey. He's in his living room. He got Kenny Pickett to come to Pitt. Kenny Pickett was thinking about going to Temple. That's what I meant to say. And then he got him to come to Pitt. Then he leaves Pitt. Kenny Pickett, I think, vibes with Matt Canada. He likes his overall view of the offense. That's one of the reasons why he went to the University of Pittsburgh. So I don't think that should be underscored. We as fans, from an outsider's perspective, will always look at things from a global situation and saying, well, the results aren't there that we want. But there's a good chance, and I thought this at the end of last season, that whether Canada stays or goes, if I was Mike Tomlin and Art Rooney II, I leave it up to Kenny Pickett. I call Kenny into the office and say, hey, what do you think? If you're not happy with the way this is going, well, let's cut ties now. Let's get you in year 2 with a new guy that you like and you're comfortable with. But if you like it and you want to give this another show, let's go. I wouldn't be shocked if they did that. And like I said, Kenny Pickett likes Matt Canada. So there you go.
And let's look at this from the conference standpoint too. Look at all the quarterback talent there is in the AFC compared to the NFC. There's Jalen Hurts and everyone else.
Yeah.
So the Steelers have to have at least good quarterback play realistically if they want to compete within the conference, let alone their own division. And it's because we know Burrow's going to be the top. Lamar, we know what he can do when healthy. I know the Steelers have had success against Lamar, but 2 stud quarterbacks within your division, I have no clue what to expect from Deshaun Watson this season. So the Steelers in year 2, hopefully you can build upon that. And again, the familiarity, I don't think can be underscored enough, because I look at the other struggles of young quarterbacks in this league. Look at what happened to Mitch Trubisky in Chicago. Look at what happened to Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. And look, at a certain point, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, a quarterback is, you look in the mirror and quarterback is what he is at a certain point. But when a young quarterback struggles in this league, it shouldn't always be pointed to, oh, it's the quarterback's fault. I look at who are his coaching, what were his coaches doing to put him in a position to succeed or not.
It is kind of half and half, Is Matt Canada to blame for Kenny Pickett's early interceptions in his time? No, he's not. But at the same time, was Kenny Pickett also, did he suffer from some of the play calls? Yeah, he did. So it's kind of 50-50. There's the yin and yang approach there to quarterback, play caller, et cetera. But Matt Canada's here to stay, and I'm excited. If he doesn't do it this year, there's no crutch. Like, he has no crutch anymore. Like, if it doesn't work this year, the contract's expired. Thanks for your time. We're moving on. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
You're in my brain, Jeff, which is a dangerous place to be, because if the offense struggles, he's your easy scapegoat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, point blank, period. Just my 2 cents worth. We'll see how that shakes out.